War in Europe, 1939. 30th of January 1933. Hitler, leader of the Nazi Party, is elected Chancellor. He immediately increases the size of the state police, the Gestapo, and ruthlessly eliminates all opposition. 2nd of August 1934. The Chancellorship and the Presidency of Germany are merged and Hitler becomes the leader, the Führer. 7th of March 1936. In violation of the Treaty of Versailles, German troops occupy the demilitarised zone of the Rhineland. The French and British, unwilling to risk war, do nothing. 9th of May 1936. In an attempt to expand his territories and establish a colonial empire, Mussolini invades Ethiopia, one of the very few remaining independent countries in Africa. 12th of March 1938. On the day before Austria is to hold a referendum on unification with Germany, the German army crosses the Austrian border. Hitler's annexation of Austria demonstrated that he was willing to defy international treaties and pursue an aggressive expansion policy. The lack of willingness by France, Great Britain and the international community to enforce the Treaty of Versailles encouraged Hitler's further expansion. 30th of September 1938. Britain and France are unwilling to defend Czechoslovakia and the Munich Agreement is signed. The treaty permits Germany to annex the Sudetenland, part of Czechoslovakia, in exchange for a promise of peace and an end to Germany's expansionist policies. 15th of October 1938. German troops occupy the Sudetenland. 15th of March 1939. 5 months later, German troops occupied the whole of Czechoslovakia in violation of the Munich Agreement. 22nd of May 1939. The Pact of Steel was signed, the pact between Germany, Italy and Japan, and later Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Croatia and Finland, formed the Axis alliance with its goal of world domination. 23rd of August 1939. Germany and Russia signed the Nazi-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact, dividing Eastern Europe between them and clearing the way for the German invasion of Poland. 25th of August 1939. Only a week before the outbreak of World War II, in an attempt to discourage German aggression, Britain and Poland sign a mutual assistance treaty. 1st of September 1939. Germany invades Poland. World War II begins. At 4:45 in the morning, the German battleship Schleswig-Holstein, moored in Danzig, opens fire on the Polish ammunition depot, and so doing becomes the first shot fired in World War II. 62 German divisions, with more than 1,300 warplanes in support, attack across the Polish border. Britain issues an ultimatum, telling Germany to suspend all aggressive action and withdraw their forces from Polish territory. It goes on to say, unless satisfactory assurances are given, a state of war would exist between our two countries. Britain begins a general mobilisation of the armed forces. Despite all the signs of war, the British Army is ill-equipped and unprepared. 4 million children and women begin to be relocated from the cities to areas much less likely to be bombed by the enemy. As a defence against German bombers, blackouts are put in place, enforced by air raid wardens with heavy fines for anyone who shows a light. 11 a.m, 3rd of September 1939. The British ultimatum to Germany expired without an answer. 11:15, 15 minutes later, Prime Minister Chamberlain announces that Britain is at war with Germany. Australia and New Zealand also declare war on Germany. 12 p.m. France delivers an ultimatum to Germany, which at 5 p.m. also expires unanswered. France declares war on Germany. Conscription begins of every able-bodied man between the ages of 18 and 20. On the very first day of the war, the Battle of the Atlantic starts, when U-boat U-30 torpedoes and sinks the British transatlantic passenger liner SS Athenia. 5th of September 1939, 2 days following Britain's declaration of war against Germany, the United States proclaims its neutrality. Following a short but furious debate on whether South Africa should be neutral or enter the war on Britain's side, South Africa declares war on Germany. 6th of September 1939. To protect shipping from U-boat attack, the convoy system is adopted. 8th of September 1939. Germany begins a campaign of mining British waters. Magnetic mines are dropped by parachute in the Thames estuary and off the east coast. 10th of September 1939. 7 days after Britain and France, Canada declares war on Germany. 14th of September 1939. British destroyers sink U-39, the first German U-boat to be sunk in World War II. 17th of September 1939. Poland's fate is sealed when Russia invades Poland. Under the terms of the secret Nazi-Soviet pact, the Russians crossed the border and attacked Poland from the east. British aircraft carrier HMS Courageous is torpedoed and sunk by U-29, the first major warship to be sunk in the war. 19th of September 1939. The German and Soviet armies meet in central Poland. 28th of September 1939. In the terms of the German-Soviet Frontier Treaty, Poland is divided between them. 6th of October 1939. Polish resistance comes to an end. The occupation of Poland by the Germans and Soviets was not the end of the Polish armed forces, but the beginning of their astonishing contribution to Allied victory. 9th of October 1939. Hitler gives orders for the preparation of the invasion of France. The German battle plan was to invade France through the neutral countries of Belgium, Luxembourg and the Netherlands. These countries lack sizable military forces and have borders with Germany which are largely unprotected. 10th of October 1939. British Prime Minister Chamberlain formally declines Hitler's peace offer. It was vague and uncertain, and no further reliance could be placed on Hitler's promises. 11th of October 1939. An estimated 158,000 British troops are now in France. They are poised along the Belgian-French border. 13th of October 1939. German U-boat U-47 penetrates Scapa Flow and sinks the British battleship HMS Royal Oak. Struck by a salvo of 3 torpedoes, she sinks in 13 minutes. 16th of October 1939. The Luftwaffe made its first air raid on Britain. Ju-88 bombers attacked the battlecruiser HMS Hood at Ross Eye. The Hood was hit by a 550-pound bomb, damaging her port torpedo bulge and her condensers. 8th of November 1939. An attempt was made to assassinate Hitler while he delivered a speech in a Munich beer hall. Hitler left early, narrowly escaping the bomb blast. 14th of November 1939. At first located in Paris, the Polish government in exile moves to London. When Hitler attacked Russia, they arranged for Polish POWs to be set free. Many would eventually make their way to England and fight alongside the British and Canadians. 21st of November 1939. A magnetic mine laid in the Firth of Forth severely damages HMS Belfast, putting her out of service for 2 years. 22nd of November 1939. A magnetic mine is dropped in the Thames estuary. It is successfully disarmed and countermeasures develop. 30th of November 1939. Russia attacks Finland. 11th of December 1939. The heavily outnumbered Finnish army puts up a skillful and effective defence. This, together with the Finnish terrain and winter weather, caused the Russians to meet with a number of defeats. 13th of December 1939. British Royal Navy ships Exeter, Ajax and Achilles engaged the German pocket battleship the Admiral Graf Spee off the River Plate. 14th of December 1939. Badly damaged, the Admiral Graf Spee seeks refuge in the port of Montevideo, Uruguay. 17th of December 1939. The Admiral Graf Spee is forced to leave Montevideo and is scuttled just outside the harbour. 18th of December 1939. The first Canadians arrive in Britain to defend the UK while British troops are away fighting. 27th of December 1939. The first Indian troops arrive in France to fight with the British Expeditionary Force. 300 Indian troops would later be evacuated from Dunkirk. 28th of December 1939, the British Ministry for Food announced that basic foods such as butter, bacon, ham and sugar will be rationed using coupons. Later, meat, cheese, margarine, eggs, milk, tea, breakfast cereal, rice, biscuits, tinned goods and clothes were rationed using the point system. Petrol was rationed from the very beginning of the war, and from March 1942 was only issued to official users. Fruit, vegetables, bread and fish were never rationed, but often in short supply. As the year comes to an end, the people of Britain tighten their belts and grimly look to 1940.